Yedgey. Thank you for joining us. Writer-director at Escala, nominated by Charissa Sanjaranan-Sudikul, pretty close, and Joshua Gilbert. Thanks again. Escala is a pretty strong film about difficult subject, certainly very timely in the last couple of
Mhm.
years. And I'll just turn it over to you, let you introduce yourself for a minute, maybe say anything that you'd like around the film and your experience before we dive into the three questions.
Okay, sure. So my name is Assem Yedgey. Escala was a project for me when I was finishing the school. It was my final project. And for me, it was very important. It happened right before the Me Too. So it was kind of good in timing too, because we released it and maybe after 2 months it started the Me Too. So it was like perfect timing, everything. The film was shot 100% female crew,
Hmm.
which was a bit hard to get, but it was great experience, amazing people. Jai, I love Jai. She's the main character. Um, so yeah, Nick
Cool.
Barain was great too.
Cool. Wow. Well, for your concluding project for school, I mean, it's really high caliber, very high quality project, especially if it was, still a early piece. The acting very strong, very believable, very convincing. Cinematography, directing, really, a strong piece. The first question is, what is it that is or lived or lives inside you psychologically, emotionally, that made you want to write, direct, and commit to this piece?
I feel like it was kind of about me, the movie. And I've met a lot of people when I was in film school, and we were all um, very focused on our dreams. So a lot of people didn't see what was going on in their real life because all they saw was the dream to get there. And mostly it was pushed by society, by people that they were raised with. And I thought that this is an important piece to talk about, that your life is actually really important, not only the goals you can get them, but what does it cost you to get
Hmm,
what you
hmm,
want.
hmm. Well, a lot of times, often I'll borrow from, there's a in software development, there's an agile coach role, and the agile coach's role is to facilitate software development. It's
Mhm.
similar to directing role. And one of the things that is done, a technique, is you ask why 5 times, try to
Mhm.
get to the heart of the why. And of course, I mean, that answer is just wow, like that's the tip of the iceberg. There is, first of all, it's about your personal experience. And for anyone who has not watched the film, it is a person who, and I'll just say it more generally, so people would maybe more people can connect with it. It's just a very difficult predicament where a person is compromised, um, in a excruciating position, and there is some amount of having to stay with these unbearable circumstances in order to reach a goal, as you've said. And I
Mhm.
think everybody in one way, shape, or form can appreciate that, that experience of being human, and having to deal with something awful just to get through it and to get beyond it. And it's a heart-wrenching place, especially when you have to watch someone innocent suffer at the hands of a predator. Um, so I think, not to necessarily drill into kind of like your own personal experience with that, but to really, I think, connect with why, I've found that in my own filmmaking experience, in my own creative writing, and I found that there's a deep kind of cathartic experience, through this creative process. And I think I often find what lurks inside me in this way, is more accessible.
Mhm.
So I think you know, what was it, just kind of a purging force? Was it something that you needed to purge?
Basically, I've had a really terrible situation happen to me in school. And I needed to let it out.
Yeah.
I needed to write it out. And I started thinking about everything that was happening with me in my life and around, like, people around me. And this movie, this script helped me a lot, helped me to just like write it off and leave it there where
Yeah.
it's supposed to be. Like,
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. And that's such a important part of filmmaking. I think those kinds of personal stories are impactful, you know, and they help others connect with their own experiences like that. Second question for Play It Forward is, you can tackle, it's a two-parter, and you can tackle both the first or the second. Either as you were creating this piece or in reflection as you look back on it as a finished product,
mhm.
what do you feel the message of the film is?
You can take it different ways. I mean, she, for her, for Escala, for the movie, for Jai's character, it was to get to her goals. Even if you suffer that much, just get over it. Try to put it in something, or like in me, because I've seen a lot of people that went other way, destroying their lives. And I think what's the best in these terms is to find like-minded people that you can grow with and overcome your obstacles with putting it into art and trying to show that to the world, so maybe somebody can get something from like that story for themselves.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I look back on my life, and um, the thought that occurred to me just recently, um, is that talent, I used to feel, was an individual uh,
Mhm.
thing. Like, I owned it.
Mhm.
And now, the older I've gotten and more experienced, I am just astounded at how much talent I come across and how much talent there is. And I feel I have this sense of talent as being a shared thing.
Yes.
And I guess what I wanted to say, that what you've said that inspires in me, is that I've seen so much talent go wasted. I've seen so many people
Mhm.
choose that other path that you just mentioned. And, you know, I think in some way there is that the ones who are able, to, for whatever reasons, by luck, to go that other path, um, bring that talent with them that is still shared. I mean,
Mhm.
it's maybe a very metaphysical kind of thing.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
So I feel like, and I believe in that everyone is suffering. Everyone is going through their own pain, change of some kind. And no matter what, just don't close it. Share it because people can learn. And that way you can learn and grow and outgrow that.
Yeah, yeah,
So
together, help
yeah.
others, help yourself. Everybody's connected.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's the only way I feel like.
yeah, for sure. Thank you. Well, we're at the last question.
Mhm.
And the last question is, since you made that film, either really personally, you know, professionally is always interesting in terms of how have you grown as a director and a writer, but personally, how have you changed after making this movie?
Oh, okay. Well, this movie changed me a lot. First of all, right before making it, everyone was telling me that I'm making lots of mistakes, that I shouldn't do 100% female crew, that I shouldn't be doing this, that the movie is just like we've seen this kind of story many times and that there's nothing special to show. But I feel like after doing that, I felt much more stronger. And I'm glad that I didn't listen to anyone in these terms because I really believed in the movie. I really believed in crew. I really believe in everything that we did. And it did really good on festivals everywhere. And it opened up a lot of doors for me. So I feel like much stronger person who knows which way to go right now too.
Yeah. Yeah. You trusted yourself
Yeah.
and it paid off and you have a sense of inner strength and
Yeah,
integrity.
much
Yeah.
better. And even Disney helped us. They gave us a coloring studio. They gave us like everything for us to just like get there, whatever we wanted.
Wow.
So
That's great.
it was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. It takes a lot of people and a lot of luck and a lot of hard work to pull off a short film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And everyone wanted to work on that film, which was kind of surprising for me because at that time I was just in school, no one really. And I've had a lot of great people working on this film, which inspired me a lot to do like better.
Yeah. Yeah. Assem, when we first talked just before the interview today, you had mentioned, it's been a lot of years, a few years since you've made the film. I think it was released 2018.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, and you said you haven't been ready to talk about it, but you are now. Is there anything that you'd like to get off your chest that you'd like to share about this piece?
Well, I think at all the festivals, whenever they ask me about the story, I said it's not my story. I just made it up.
Oh,
And now I'm ready to say that it is my story.
you own it.
And I'm ready to share it with the world too, being like, this is me. And I didn't, at that time, I wanted to be separated from the movie. I didn't want to, people to see my pain.
Hmm.
But now a lot of years passed and I look at things differently too. And like I said, I want to share. And that's why I want to be a writer. I mean, I'm a writer and I want to do that for life because that's the only thing that helps me and helps others.
That's awesome. Well, I am honored for you to share that on our show. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you so much for, the truth and passion that you are um, part of and living and helping others to live.
Okay. It's the only thing that we can do.
That's right.
Yeah.
Assem Yedgey, writer director at Escala. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you on the show.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Uh, Till next time. Bye bye. All the best.
Bye. Bye bye. You too.